Do you feel like life's just one big ball of confusion, stress, anxiety, pain? Do you feel like you just can't conquer life no matter how hard you try? Do you feel like the next person is just has so much more than you do? Well, my name's Kent, and I've spent thousands, literal thousands of hours going through the best self help stuff on YouTube, the best literature. I have a degree in psychology, physiology, and theology, and I'm here to bring that all together and bring you a video series on how you can beat life. Now, I'm going to try to do this in 3 videos, but it may be more because I'm continuously learning, I'm continuously growing, I'm continuously trying to get better at understanding how to beat life. Now, a lot of videos on my channel are based off of the study of God or biblical scripture, or there's some musical stuff. But this is going to be a very serious, down to the point video of how you can excel in life. I'm going to speak from a masculine frame, from a man's perspective, but this is also good for the feminine, females to listen to and understand too, because there's going to be 15 points in total. This video I'm going to go over 5, but there could be more in the future if I find some other gems in the literal thousands of hours of studying and devoting myself into improving life in general. So today we're going to go over 5 points. The first point is get to the point where you can have inner contentment but not feel complacent. So contentment is the feeling of having enough, knowing that what you have, these clothes that you have, the house that you have, the car that you have, the health that you have, is enough to be happy. But they can't boil over into complacency, which complacency is just sitting and never trying to improve. So while yes, you could have the things you need and sit on the couch all day and eat healthy food and watch self-help videos 24 hours a day, that's not going to help you beat life. You have to find the contentment and find the balance, and that's different for everyone. It's almost like a moving target too, of being content, knowing what you have is enough to be happy. But once you have that inner contentment and that inner peace, that will lead you to an abundance mindset, which will help you to not be complacent and not just sit around and be okay with it, but to seek and to improve yourself, to seek to improve your career, seek to improve your relationships, seek to improve your personal life, seek to improve your hobbies, but also knowing that if you don't and if you fail, you're still going to be fine. You're going to be happy because you have everything you need. That foundation of peace and contentment allows you to not be complacent, because if you're always seeking after the next thing, then your identity becomes wrapped around whatever that thing is, and that takes all contentment away. That's just a chasing after the wind. That's a rat race. That's a recipe for failure of seeking after the next thing because that's my identity. That's what I need to be okay. If you come at it with a mindset of I'm okay, I'm good here, I'm happy, I have the things I need, but I know me as a man or a woman, I also need to improve and grow and continuously get better so that I can help the others around me, so I can help my family, so I can serve and love and care and just express good positive emotions, but knowing even if I fail, I'm okay because I'm content, but I will not be complacent. Second one is more for the masculine, but it kind of applies to everyone. So it might be kind of controversial too. It will be controversial. But number 2 is politely command, don't ask. So that goes for really anything, but especially from the masculine side of a relationship or the work side. And I'm not saying you should just be a jerk and say, hey, I'm going to do this. But a lot of times in life, if you're asking for permission, that automatically puts you in a position of like subservience, and especially in the masculine frame, you don't want to be in a position of like, oh, I need to be subservient. I need to make sure everyone else is okay, and then I'll just do whatever I want. Politely commanding will lead to more respect and garner more love and care from your relationship, from your coworkers, from everyone. It'll put you in a position of power and authority, which we want to be careful with power and authority. We don't want to abuse it. But also at the same time, when you politely command, or when you have that foundation of I know what I want, that's very important to have. I know what I want, and I know what I need, and I know what's best for me, because what's best for me is going to be what's best for everyone, because it's going to allow me to work in the position that I need to work in. So politely commanding, not rudely, not arrogance, not with brash, power hungry dominance, but with a polite command of, hey, this is who I am. I know who I am. I know what I need. So this is what I need, and I'm gonna not ask for it and be like, oh, can I please have this thing I need? I just need I need it. No, but knowing, hey, I this is who I am. So for example, for me, in the health and wellness industry and the physiology industry, it's like I know how I can serve and I know how I can best serve. So I'm going to go to a company and an organization and tell them, this is what I bring to the table. This is how I'm going to improve the lives and the health of your employees, of who you need to work for you better. So it's not like I just can I please see these people? Can I please show them what I know? No, it's let me tell you how this is going to be beneficial for you, for me, for everyone involved, in a nice way, in a commanding way, and also in a way with contentment. And if they say no, then I'm completely content. That's 1 and 2. So number 3, every failure is fixable and growth bringing by learning from mistakes. Every single failure, it doesn't matter what it is, even if it's a failure that results in permanent damage like jail time, can be fixable with learning and growing from mistakes. So the only true failure is a failure to try. If you don't try, then that is actually failing. So if every single failure, putting yourself out there with a dating relationship, or going to the gym and failing, or looking like an idiot, or going somewhere and asking someone to get rejected, or getting turned down by a job opportunity, everything is fixable and growth bringing. Failure brings the most growth. You learn more in your mistakes than you do success. You learn more from losing than you do from winning. So it gets to the point where failure should be looked at as joy bringing, as I failed per se by the world standards, but for me, it helped me grow. It helped me understand a little bit more about what I need to be doing. It helped me make progress, and that's failure brings progress. So the only time you're not going to get progress is if you just do nothing. If you don't go for that job application, if you don't go for that woman or man that you want to be with, if you don't express your hobbies, if you don't go for your passions and your desires, then that failure is going to bring nothing. It's going to bring sadness and depression and anxiety and just a miserable feeling. But if you go for it and you fail, wonderful. That's progress. And then the next time you can go a different route, or do a different thing, or go through a different avenue, or whatever. There's billions of people in this world. There's millions of companies. There's thousands of businesses that want to hear and want to be part of what you have to offer. If the first one fails, who cares? Go on, make the next one even better. And if that one fails, make the next one even better. And you continuously do that. And if at the end of the day you're 100 times in and you failed, you learned so much about yourself and so much about the desires you have and who you are and what you need to improve. It's just going to be the most growth-bringing experience ever. Failure is never final. Number 4, don't let culture change your role. A big part of this is in relationships, especially with the masculine and feminine roles. Don't let culture tell you that you shouldn't be masculine or you shouldn't be feminine. That's how we're designed. That's how our brains, literally that's how our physiology is designed. For the however long you think humans have existed, I think between 60 to 100,000 years, this species of human, we have roles. We have masculine and feminine roles. We have a protector, a provider, a leader as a male. And we have the loyal, servant-hearted, caring, kind, nurturing, loving woman. And that's what it's supposed to be. That's how humans are designed. It doesn't matter if the last 50 years of culture thinks it should be something different. 100 years of human microevolution has told us and has hardwired into our brains what needs to happen to propagate the species and to make sure ensure the survival of our species. It doesn't matter what feelings, when new feelings come about of like, oh, I feel like I need to do this, and I need to be a leader and a masculine woman. And there's exceptions, fine, do what you want. But for the best majority of people, the best way to have a successful, happy relationship, the best way to ultimately ensure the survival of our species, which is really what matters, is to protect our young and ensure the survival of our species. The best way to do that is to have these different complementary roles of a masculine role and a feminine role, and that is a big part of relationships. But it's not just relationships; it's work balance. It's is what you do in your hobbies. I don't think there's very many women that should be lumberjacks or brick masons. Or on the front lines of military infantry. It's just there's positions that are best suited for the masculine role and the male role, and there's positions that are best suited for the feminine role. And that's is countercultural. It's controversial, but it shouldn't be, because it's how humans are designed the majority of the time, and we're all in this together. Our species is designed to help each other continually make more and have successful, happy, healthy offspring and young, and build them up. It's the same thing with chimpanzees. It's the same thing with lions. They're not concerned about like a gender identity. They're concerned about what's best for the species, and what's best for the species is to have a masculine and a feminine. And then number 5 for this video, last one for this video, is that dopamine rules everything. It does. It's a neurotransmitter in the brain that that drives motivation and desire and pleasure. There's a kind of a landmark study done in rats that they took dopamine out of one rat, completely out of one rat, and kept dopamine in another rat, and put the same rats in 2 little boxes, and they put food at the other side of the box. The one rat that didn't have dopamine wouldn't go after the food. The one rat that did went after the food and ate it. But the interesting part is when you gave food to the rat who didn't go after the food, he still enjoyed it. He still ate it. So dopamine just takes the motivation away. And this is could be a whole nother video, might be a whole nother video about how to regulate dopamine, and how everything, social media, ads, food, video games, TV, movies, everything is just designed to give you a shot of dopamine so you keep coming back to it. It's programmed throughout culture now. Everybody's competing for your dopamine, and to continually give it up. Just for examples, when you eat something sweet, or when you indulge in video games, or you indulge in pornography or masturbation, or when you indulge in pleasurable things without any work. So if you're sitting on the couch watching 2 hours worth of TV or a movie or something, your brain is releasing dopamine and you're not doing anything. So that's going to in turn make your brain desire more of that same level of dopamine, that easy level of dopamine. So when you get that over time consistently, you're consistently eating sweets, you're consistently watching pornography, you're consistently masturbating, you're consistently watching TV and movies, watching video games, scrolling social media, scrolling YouTube, or TikTok is even worse, because it's just dopamine hit, dopamine hit, dopamine hit, dopamine hit. Your brain's going to want that level of activity. It's not going to want to seek anything harder. It's not going to want to it's not going to give you any desire to cook a healthy meal, or to go form a relationship with someone who's attractive to you, or go out and make a circle of friends, or go get a job that's difficult to obtain. It's not gonna give you any drive. Your brain's not gonna give you any drive to do anything. You're just gonna end up sitting and getting more dopamine hits and more dopamine hits. It's gonna come to a critical point where you either realize, wow, I'm wasting my life, or you just fall into depression and you just want more and more and more and more, and that can lead to alcohol, drug use, a lot of bad things. But you have to understand, it starts with a little dopamine hit. And basically, if I can just sum this up, it's be careful of what you get pleasure from. Be careful of what you get happiness from. If you don't have to work for pleasure or happiness at all, that's a very dangerous thing to fall into, because your brain is going to want more of it. It's going to want just that. So be very careful. Dopamine detoxing is wonderful. I may link a video to it of what it looks like, but it's basically depriving your brain of things that are pleasurable and easily attainable, and it's a wonderful thing to do for 24 hours. It's a great thing to do. Dopamine rules everything. This is video number 1. This is Kent. I love you. Be safe.